As we all know, all art is totally objective.
There is always a winner and a loser.
We're going to find out objectively
who is the best at music.
Who is the winner, who is the loser in very...
Or more specifically, who's the best at making a musical world around poetry.
Yeah, that's right. It's episode 1 of Charlie versus Jake.
I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah.
Take this sonic souvenir and that found noise and...
I'm gonna win, Jacob.
Nobody likes singing. People want piano.
Oh, look at all the bendy noise I made.
Use it. Fight.
Okay, well...
Okay, maybe not all of that is true, but we wanted to see what would happen if we both took the same poetry performance and sat down with it in our studio just for a few hours to come up with some ideas and make some music.
You're very used to hearing us make music together, but what's it like when we make music separately? We'll find out today.
We set ourselves a time limit of about 4 hours and just worked to one simple rule. There are no rules.
You could reverse it, flip it, do whatever to the actual audio sample we had. We also wanted to put an emphasis on it being just a sketch and not a release-ready track. This is just a chuck everything at it kind of sketch.
The poem we're working with today is by Steve Head, and it's his piece, Today I Sat Down by a River. Before we start coming up with all of our crazy ideas, we need to listen to the piece. So here's Steve now with a performance.
Today I sat down by a river, in a park not too far from my home, and thought about a river in another country, which was once my country. As people walked past me, dogs lapped, bike wheels left tracks in the spring-tempered dirt, and all around me, intermittently and for the briefest of moments, the air was somehow exactly the way it had been beside that other river, the last time I'd sat there. And I felt for a short while like I was stood astride 2 lives that until that point had stubbornly refused to consolidate. And I felt unlost and undivided into unquiet, uneasy, and irreconcilable parts, at peace with my choices, coherently distant, displaced, but in touch with the source. The sun sank slowly below the trees, a single hour later than it would elsewhere, and half of me went home.
So, let's get into it.
Let's go into the other room and see what Jake's done with his piece.
When listening to his piece, I was really struck by this nostalgia that he was feeling towards this other place. So I wanted to kind of capture some of that in the sounds and the music and the melody that I put together. And as I was searching for some sonic souvenirs and some atmospheric pads to work as the foundation for the piece, I actually came across this recording of an old piano. It was very out of tune, but I just played some chords on it. When I was listening back to it, it just had this nostalgic kind of feel to it. I've added a few effects to it, but it was already quite wobbly and old sounding. And so yeah, I took this sort of series of chords and a later sort of section from that initial recording and turned that into the base of the piece here. You can see all of the piano sounds here. And then I just sort of added to that by adding in a double bass line that followed along and helped ground it a little bit and give it some direction. It also just added to the slow, thoughtful, pensive feel of Steve's words. It's quite a slow, plodding melody as we sort of shift through these changes, and the woody, big sound of the double bass I felt really lent itself well to that feeling that was being created here. I'm definitely no double bass player, and I haven't touched this double bass for a little while, but it came together in the end, and some of the melody idea I sort of quite liked. It matched well with the piano and the double bass that was already there. It's just very expansive, filling out that space and reaching up higher, slowly going from the depths of where we started with that really low rumbly double bass, and just disappearing off into the distance with a few effects on there as well to sort of throw it into space. To really explode out at the end, I added a whole lot of sounds here. It started off with just this sound of like a sliding coat rail shuffling them all across. And then I added a whole host of different sounds here, which you can see some wings of birds flying off, and then lots of turning pages and riffling through pages that sort of add some more candy to this transition into the final dissipation of the sounds that have been going on. So there it is. I hope you like it, and I hope Steve likes it. Let's listen to it all the way through with Steve in there as well, and we'll see how it all sounds together.
Today, I sat down by a river in a park not too far from my home
It just arrives
and thought about a river in another country, which was once my country.
Here I am.
As people walked past me, dogs lapped, bike wheels left tracks in the spring-tempered dirt, and all around me, intermittently and for the briefest of moments, the air was somehow exactly the way it had been beside that other river the last time I'd sat there. And I felt for a short while like I was stood astride two lives that until that point had stubbornly refused to consolidate. And I felt unlost and undivided into unquiet, uneasy, and irreconcilable parts, at peace with my choices, coherently distant, displaced, but in touch with the source. The sun sank slowly below the trees, a single hour later than it would elsewhere, and half of me went home.
Yeah! Woo, woo, woo. I loved it. I really like it.
Yeah? Oh, that's good.
I really like it. I really like it. I really like it. I really like the bass, the bowed bass. I love the piano. I don't understand how you've made that piano sound. It's gorgeous.
It's mostly just how it was when I recorded it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got some wobbly reverb on it, but...
And I like what you've done to Steve's voice. Have you done much to it?
No.
Oh.
Nothing.
Well, I like that you've done nothing to it. I love the flappy, flappy birds.
Yeah,
That was nice. I love that.
Really love the intro to Jake's track and the sonic souvenirs that he loves so much. The birds, the muffled, distant conversations. It sounds like you're almost listening to a wall. It comes together to really build this incredible atmosphere. The car driving past, I found that really effective. The reality of the fact that I'm sitting in this park, you can hear cars coming past. And so it draws us away from the muffled conversations and the atmosphere that's been created before, back into the present. The instrument that comes in like a kind of a cello-y kind of sound. When that begins, for me, it kind of like divides the track into two as well, emphasizing the division that I felt at the time between my life before in England and my life now in France. I really like that. It really kind of drove home the nostalgia, it's not a word, the nostalgic feel of the poem.
It's so good, Jake. You're just the master. He's the boss of, hey, you want a world of sound? Here's everything. Pan him. It's just, no, but it's more than that, isn't it? But you're just so, like that whole last bit, right, okay, I see. So there's birds and book pages, is it? Oh, you're such a clever boy.
And the fact that we hear birds throughout the track is brilliant. Actually, I thought it was really an elegant, effective way of rooting us constantly, but subtly in in the reality of the present, the birds are almost like a little subtle anchor to my surroundings, while in my head I'm off over here, tripping back into the path. The fact that the birds fly away at the end of the track, just as I talk about half of me going home, it's just the icing on the cake. They gave me goosebumps. I think one of the last little sonic souvenirs that I hear is pages being turned in a book. And if that's the case, then yeah, spot on. It's very symbolic as well. Like a really nice metaphor. Love it.
I love it. I love how unfinished the ending is. Feels like the start of a play. And then here we go. And here he is. You know, enter scene 1. I love it, Jake. It's amazing. You're great. Well done.
Do I win the fight?
Well, I think we can all agree that the real winner is fun. Well, hello. I'm all done, I think. It's so hard to be done on anything and call a thing finished, but it's just like, bam, the creative stuff, which is what I love. So it's split into 2 halves. The song happens first, and then there's a last little outro that's Steve reciting the part of the poem that I've already sung. I'm going to put my headphones on and give you a bit of a tour. So we have our first chorus has 3 vocals singing the same tune and some harmonies on that. Some bass, some nice like airy synths, and just one kind of tape loop style drum kit with little hints of some glitchy bits and what's to come. Because the idea I was feeling was that like it's going to start off by a river and slowly kind of get a little bit more glitchy, like you're splitting yourself in half, I guess, and like things aren't all as they seem. I've got some various glitches going on. I've got some bottle popping, a valve radio going on, and the bit that is the most glitchy is between my singing and him talking as a bit of a transition. And I also didn't bring every section in where you might expect it. I wanted it all to feel kind of organic, and like whoever's voice is communicating the message is just a chain of thought kind of thing. Some of my favourite bits are the extra vocals when you cut yourself in half or something like that. No, half of me went home. Cut yourself in half. They're cool. I like those. Let me show you those. That's cool, isn't it? So we have a vocoder on them, some chorus, distortion and a phaser. Just makes it sound kind of ghostly. And that's what I kind of challenged myself to do with this whole arrangement, was like, how much detail can I put in? Because we do lots of looping in our live shows, there's no time or room for all those little things. So I love opportunities like this to add as many stupid little details that are just for me as possible. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I wanted to create something that felt true to how happy you can be in one place while also feeling like you're living out your life somewhere else at the same time, through lots of glitchiness and kind of almost like someone's just trying to sneak in through this door of a parallel life and a parallel universe. That was the idea anyway. Whether or not I've achieved it is another thing. So, oh my goodness, let's go and see what Jake thinks of my piece. I'm really nervous. Woo!
And I felt for a short while like I was stood astride 2 lies. And I felt unlost and undivided. And I felt at peace with my choices, coherently distant, displaced but in touch with the source. The sun sank slowly towards the trees, a single hour later than it would elsewhere.
You're giving it a very delicate delivery, it feels like. It's very
half of me
conversational.
Went home. Oh, and half of me went home, and I felt for a short while like I was stood astride two lies, and I felt unlost and
I love how it just sort of suddenly
undivided.
explodes there. It's like it's all so much of it's the same as when you first hear it, but
At peace with
so much more going on. I
my
love it.
choices, coherently distant, displaced but in touch with the source.
And I felt for a short while like I was stood astride two lives that until that point had stubbornly refused to consolidate. And I felt unlost and undivided
It just
into
works so well. It's
unquiet,
such a
uneasy and
beautiful
irreconcilable
opening, which is
parts,
straight into vocals,
at
and
peace
then
with my choices,
slowly get through the
coherently
piece, and then you
distant,
hear Steve,
displaced, but in touch with the source.
just as it slowly disperses into
The sun sank slowly
ending.
below the trees, a single hour later than it would elsewhere. And half of me went home.
a really peaceful end.
Home.
I love it. It's amazing. Oh, it's lovely. It's magical.
Charlie's track really hits on the nostalgic kind of dreamy vibe with the feeling that I had when I was sat down by the river in the park, you know, drifting in and out of reality in kind of a haze of nostalgia.
It's a bop. I'll tell you that.
It is a bop.
It's a
isn't
bop.
it?
Yeah, and I love the end, the beginning, just like straight in there. Just here we are. I love the little glitchy bits in there. Yeah, it's lovely. It's just like the way it builds and tells the story of his piece, and then suddenly he's there too with you in this other world. It's like the same but different. But
The introduction of that kind of louder, more impactful drum loop really separates the track into two and emphasizes that feeling of division, separation.
it fits so much into just those 2 minutes as well. It's like new idea, but it's never incoherent. It's still like, well, yeah, obviously it would be that next, and it just feels so natural.
You have the little echo or home at the end. I feel like that really symbolizes how home can change. It can be somewhere you've lived for most of your life, and then all of a sudden it can be somewhere completely new, where you have to foster a new feeling of home, or create a new concept of home.
I love the choir at the end. I love the harmonies throughout it. There was some crazy harmonies going on here.
Ooh, and half of me went home.
Oh, it's so
and I-
spacey. Now I want to hear this this bit here on its own. It's such a lovely, like, sort of viscerally kind of texture that's hanging on underneath everything. It works really well.
It's kind of in the key as well.
Oh, really? That's good.
Like how Charlie is focused her track on the second half of the poem. That sort of emphasizes the disconnection that I was feeling when I wrote the poem. Our memory is disconnected. We kind of access this and this and this. So yeah, I feel like it works to fragment the poem a bit, to foster this feeling of disconnection. You kind of feel drawn into this dreamy, drifty kind of vibe, but at the same time, things are disconnected. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but if it was, then it's good stuff.
It really, yeah, it's totally different from what I did, but totally matches everything that Steve said in his piece and the vibe of what he was saying, I think.
Firstly, thank you very much. I'm really honoured that you took the time to create two beautiful tracks. You hit on exactly the kind of feeling that I was feeling at that time. It seems like you knew exactly where my mind was, where my heart was, what I was feeling. And it was just a little poem that I wrote during lockdown. I've never in my life, much as most people I imagine, we've never been cut off from places we wanted to go before. So it's a brand new experience. nostalgia, homesickness, everything all rolled into one. But also like the bittersweet feeling, looking back and trying to look forward. We both really managed to perfectly sum that up with the track. You got it. You got me. Appreciate that.
Ah, yeah, fight.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fight.
Charlie
Bam,
versus
biff,
Jake.
baff,
Biff,
pow.
bam, bam.
Ah, what a good fight.
That was good fun. I was the winner.
No, I was the winner.
Maybe we both won.
Maybe we both won.
Thanks so much for watching episode 1 of Charlie versus Jake, which may well become an ongoing feud, who knows?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't really a competition, we just wanted to see what we both come up with, and we're really pleased with the really different results.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments which one you think won, or if you've got feedback on both the tracks, we'd love to hear it and hear what you think.
If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with your friends, and then you'll be the first to know about future projects like this or other challenges and videos that we'll be creating in the future.
And if you're a poet or writer and want to get involved and have us make some music around your words, head to our website, opencolab.co.uk, where submissions are often open for projects like this, and our live stream show Open Collab too.
If you want to listen to the 2 tracks without us responding to them and talking over them, then you can go to the link in the description, and they're there for you to listen and save and share.
Thanks for watching, and thanks especially to Steve for being involved in this project and trusting us with your words for us to chuck musical ideas at. We've learned so much about how we both make music as individuals, and it's been a really fun journey. Anyway, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fight.
I won.
I
No,
won,
you
actually.
won. No,
You
it was
won.
me.
Yeah.
Well, the real winner was indeed, as we said, fun.
Fun.